they're going to try to carry it over now in the second half, only down by 2. Look for them to start moving the ball a little bit more around the outside.
Cougars have dominated the offensive glass. 7 offensive boards, just 1 for Rockford. Leading scorer, Rashawn Amos, he's got the ball, dishes to Hatton. Right back to Rashawn, and here the Cougars go around the perimeter. 10 to shoot. There's a shot, there's a make, and the foul. O'Donnell with a chance to put the Cougs on top for the first time since early in this one.
And that's one thing that I saw them working on in practice this week is been that contact near the rim. They actually had the football pads in practice, and you have a coach standing there ready to shove you out of the way, simulating the contact that you just saw from O'Donnell in the paint. I'm
curious, was it Coach Kohler in the pads?
It was Coach Kohler coaching, but then they had an one of the other players getting ready, but Matt Kearney was actually the one leading the charge with the whacking sticks.
The whacking sticks?
Yes.
How can I get involved? Is there room for a broadcaster in this arrangement?
We'll see. You know, maybe ask him about it at the in the postgame if we get the chance to.
I guess so. By the way, Concordia on top for the first time since 7 minutes in when they led by 2. Rockford has led for about 15 minutes. Cougars for just over 30 seconds of this game. A pivotal game for the Cougars who need a dub to keep their postseason hopes alive. And a jump ball will send it back to Rockford.
So right out of the gate, we've seen the Cougars try to attack the paint very aggressively against a team of Rockford that was really sped up on the offensive side. But Cougars realizing that they can get to this undersized Rockford team in the paint.
Cavante Shaw with the ball. He's precise. Great passing. Bodie dishes. Rivera bangs it off the glass. And Rockford back out in front. Got a feeling this is going to be a fun one down the stretch. Here's O'Donnell to Rudell. Isaac penetrating. Lost it. Got it right back. Dishes to Amos. He drives. He shoots. And Rashawn's got 16.
You just see him in there being so graceful and just collective when he goes up through the shot.
St. Louis native. Came here to Chicago with his coach. He was playing at Blackburn College down in St. Louis with Coach Kohler. And when his coach made the move, Rashawn made the move. In his first season as a Cougar and his only season, he has been stellar. Averaging 16 points a game. Last time he didn't score in double figures, it was November. We were still digesting our turkey. Emmerich. He's got 12. All on threes. Now it's Singleton dishing to Bodie. Top of the key for Shaw. He gets a screen. Cavante stops. Emmerich from way deep. That one too short.
Hit one from about 35 feet beforehand. Might a little too far on that one.
He plays with swagger. We're seeing this guy chuck it from beyond NBA range.
Not only him playing with swagger, we've seen Rivera play with swagger. We've seen a lot of these regions play with that swagger, kind of that underdog mentality that we've seen from them.
Hey, speaking of those long threes, you a fan of the NBA?
I do like the NBA.
Yeah, because we got All-Star Weekend coming to Chicago as Emmerich misses the coast-to-coast layup. 3-point contest, which is my favorite part of All-Star Weekend, undergoing some rule changes. Not only are there going to be the normal shots, but there's also a 3-point, a shot that's worth 3 points, not the usual 2 points. It's located 6 feet beyond the line, and at the end of each rack, the shooters are going to get this special ball. They can shoot from Steph Curry range and get an extra point. You like?
I do. Originated, I think, not by Steph Curry. I'd say the Harlem Globetrotters had that first.
How about Jimmer Fredette? Remember him at BYU?
Oh,
used to do that. Hatton. Blocking foul. Brent to the line. Foul on Rivera. And Jimmer Fredette back at BYU in the Mountain West. But, of course, Steph Curry's the one who brought it into the mainstream. And it seems like we've kind of had a shift in the way basketball is being played. I don't know how much of that is attributed to a guy like Curry, but maybe at this time 20 years ago, kids were going for the highlight reel dunks, crazy ball handling moves modeled after guys like Allen Iverson, and now it's who can shoot from 40 feet, 45 feet, half court.
It's not even just who can shoot from that. You got big guys, big guys that are able to shoot those shots. So the whole game of basketball, regardless of height and position, has really been revolutionized to shoot those longer shots, especially the three ball.
Yeah, these so-called basketball unicorns. Joel Embiid, Kristaps Porzingis at the NBA level. And we're seeing them start in college. Bodie misses. Meanwhile, Rockford was lights out from three in the first half, 10 for 15, 0 for 4 to start from behind the arc in the second.
Yeah, Coach Kohler wasn't going to let that same success they had in the first half carry over. Changing defensive scheme has proven well so far.
Cougars up 5. It's been a nice start to half number 2. Hatton shoved out of bounds. Can't do that. Quentin Hernandez in the game, 55 in black. A new man on the court for Rockford, a native of Calais, France. They've got 4 different countries represented on the Rockford roster. America, France, the Netherlands. We already touched on Randy Stajenga, who's from just outside of Amsterdam. And then Italy also represented on the roster. If you could go to any of those 3 other countries right now, all expenses paid trip, your flight leaves O'Hare 2 hours after the game, you can go to Italy, France, or the Netherlands.
I'd say Italy. I think I'd like I heard the pizza and the pasta is pretty good over there.
Can confirm. It's all right. If you want a carbo load, get yourself ready for baseball season, all expenses paid trip to Rome. Here's Amos on the break. Flip pass, Rudell. Now it's Rockford ball. Emmerich smartly pulls it back. And a loose ball foul will go against Concordia. I think it was O'Donnell.
We've already seen, though, that the Cougars on the defensive side in transition especially have been able to stop the ball shooter right there. So Emmerich getting ready to pull up from a 3 because of Burns and Amos coming over and stopping them. Didn't really allow any of those shots that we saw in the first half.
What's the difference?
The difference is the Cougars have been able to, 1, stop the Rockford shooting that we saw in the first half. Now 0 of 4 from behind the arc. But 2, Concordia's been able to attack the post a lot more and draw fouls. Rockford already with 4 fouls, and we're not even 5 minutes done with this half.
The Frenchman in the corner. That was Quentin Hernandez. So he's from Calais, France, which is in the south of France. Beautiful region right outside of Marseille. Not too far from Nice. In the southern part of that country. And now it's Vincent Eugene who passes it out of bounds. Cougar ball. Rudell down low for Williams. The freshman up strong, and he's fouled. Make it 5 whistles on Rockford just 5 minutes into the second. So 3 games left in the regular season for Concordia. after this one. You've got Saturday here against Dominican. That's going to be senior day. Tuesday against Marion, and then next Saturday at Aurora in the regular season finale. You got to figure the Cougars got to win maybe all 4, maybe 3 or 4 with some help to make their first NACC tourney in 8 seasons. And speaking of help, let's whip it around this Wednesday night in action. Carter, you want to tell the people a little bit about what's going on around NACC country?
So up in Wisconsin right now, we got WLC at CUW. Falcons are leading that 60-53 at the start of the second half. Benedictine is losing on the road right now against MSOE 40-38. Lakeland on the road against Aurora, losing 53-68 against the Spartans. Marion at home against the Stars of Dominican. Dominican is up 53-43 in the second half. And last is Edgewood as they're taking on IIT, and down at home 55-42 in the second.
Interestingly enough, the way tiebreakers work in this conference, tiebreaker number 1, as it pretty much is at every level, is head-to-head. Right now, Concordia is in a 4-way tie for 7th place with Illinois Tech, Aurora, and Edgewood. But the second tiebreaker is interesting. It's a little funky. It's not something that's done in many conferences around the country, but it's your record against the first place team, which right now is Benedictine, and the Concordia win against Benedictine in a huge upset back in December might be huge. That one huge for Amos. 17 points for Rashawn.
The one thing you can take away from this whole playoff run that the Cougars are on right now is that no matter what, you have to keep it in your control, and you only control your game right now. So win as many games as you can, and don't leave it up to any other team to dictate your playoff scheme.
Steal by Burns. Amos in the corner. Oh, in and out. What do you think about that tiebreak structure? Because at a lot of levels, it'll be your overall conference record, division record, things like that. But record against the first place team. And then the next tiebreaker after that is your record against the second place team. So it rewards you for upsets.
Well, it's an interesting way of setting up the conference. Obviously, you don't, in a tie like this, there's definitely times where you get those 4-way ties we see. So you can't really go against the head-to-head that you usually see in other conferences. But it's really rewarding then to see the best teams out of those games. And you mentioned Concordia has a huge advantage over all those teams because of the fact they beat Benedictine earlier in the year.
That was back on December 16th. Benedictine came in ranked 24th in the country with Eric Grigo. Fantastic big man. Cougars not only won, but they won by 18 points. Absolute domination. Rashawn Amos that night, 18 points, 3 of 8 shooting from behind the arc. In a big Cougar win, that might look bigger and bigger as we go down the stretch. Here they're up by 6. Rockford looking to respond on offense. It's Shaw. He traveled. Nope. No call.
Forgot about a foul.
We thought that whistle might be for a travel. Instead, it's a foul on Neil O'Donnell. Got a little ahead of myself there. Apologies. Rest for Amos. Fresh legs in the game. Kenta Jones. Kenta's had an interesting season. 7 for 11 from behind the arc. And then from inside the arc, he's shooting 9 of 25. So, for those of you math nerds, 64% from 3, 36% from 2. What do you attribute that to?
I think confidence and big shots. We saw him hit that huge one to send the game into overtime against WLC. So get the ball in his hands, I guess, when you want behind the arc.
Does height have anything to do with that? When you're a 5'7" guard, you've got maybe more room on the perimeter to operate as Rockford goes with the virtual line change. But for Kenta, right, when you're outside, you got a little more room. You can show off the sharpshooting, but then when you have such a size disadvantage, navigating amongst the trees is a little tougher, right?
It's a little bit tougher, and you can see his gameplay reflects that strategy. but he's able to control himself in the shots he takes because he's aware of what he can do.
O'Donnell directing traffic. Burns with the ball. Now that's Kenta Jones. The aforementioned Jones. Hatton, top of the key. Turns, shoots, short. Singleton pushes. Trinidad. Stajenga out to Bodie. Shot fake. Stajenga back with the ball. The Dutchman drives, and he gets fouled by Burns Jr. 2 free throws for Randy Stajenga. Randy shooting 74% from the charity stripe this year. Rockford 8-8 in conference. They're tied for 5th. Coming off a tough loss to Benedictine. Rockford tied with MSOE, so they're keeping an eye on that one. And probably for both Concordia and Rockford, you'd be rooting for Benedictine to win that game because you want MSOE to trip up. Benedictine in first place right now with a 14-2 record. Tied with Wisconsin Lutheran for that all-important first place slot. Both teams that the Cougars have taken down at points this year. It's a 4-point game here in Geisman, and O'Donnell with a pretty move. He'll have 2 free throws after that smooth cross.
And you see there, that's O'Donnell being tough into the paint again. Cougars have been dominating that paint this game so far. First half it was the offensive boards. Now they're really taking charge and putting Rockford on their heels to what they were trying to do against the Cougars earlier.
O'Donnell misses. That's the 10th free throw miss for Concordia. PJ Gray in the game for Jamar Rivera. Gray, whose real name is Wesley. Former high school football star in Chicago Heights. Here's Jose Trinidad. He's had a nice night offensively. 5-point game. Singleton. No dice. Hatton muscles the rebound. Brent, 3. Off. Nice board for Ben Parker. Jones traveled.
You see there, Jones is getting a little bit ahead of himself. But again, you see Parker getting the offensive board, towering over Rockford with the size advantage that he has.
Ashton Singleton carrying it up the court. Transfer from the New York Institute of Technology. He had 21 last time against Concordia. That was a 2-point Rockford win a month ago. In the corner, Bodie lines it up. In and out. O'Donnell got it. Here come the Cougars. Schwartz gives it up to Hatton, and the senior O'Donnell resets. He calls over Jones. Crosses, kicks. Schwartz out to Hatton. Cougars looking smooth. Almost halfway home. Jones. 3. In and out. Just his 5th 3-point miss of the season. And then a loose ball foul on the Grays Lake native, Ben Parker. So a 5-point Cougar lead. They were down by 2 at the half. Led for only 20 seconds in the first half. And pretty much have led wire to wire here in the second. Ashton Singleton up the court. Big SpongeBob fan. That makes 2 of us.
3 of us.
Way to hop on board there, partner. O'Donnell wanted Jones, instead gives it to Golding. Zio fouled hard. And the Florida native will have 2 chances.
Big thing here now for the Cougars is that their reward of challenging the paint this whole half has led them to be in the bonus for the remainder of this. It's going to be huge, especially if they can get this free throw shooting together.
That was the 8th team foul for Rockford. 1-1. Golding makes it. And some more shooting back on the court. Isaac Rudell checks in. Pretty balanced scoring tonight for Concordia. 60 points. 4 guys in double figures. 19 for Amos, 12 for Golding, 12 for O'Donnell, and 11 for Hatton. Outside of those 4, no one has more than 2 points. What do you make of that scoring distribution?
Well, it shows you how their offense has been targeted throughout the game. Amos has been always involved at times, but we've seen Golding really come on this half, starting to attack more, and that last 3 he had at the end of the first half really got him going. But this offense has been distributed around everybody. It hasn't been a one-man show because of the fact they haven't been able to shoot the ball as well.
Whistle blows. It's a foul on CUC. Fans, we'd like to remind you that Cougar Basketball is brought to you in part by Lutheran Public Radio. Listen to sacred music anytime, anywhere at LutheranPublicRadio.org or on the LPR app. Emmerich with the ball, up to State Jenga. Randy bowls over a defender, and that defender is Ben Parker, and he's whistled for the foul. Number 4 on Ben.
That's one where I could see the idea. You see the Cougar bench a little upset about that, but I think Parker just leaned in a little bit too much there, and that's why the referee didn't call that a charge.
Rockford's perfect from the line tonight. 7 for 7 now. State Jenga's hit 3 of them. And Parker with 4 fouls comes out. Tavares Williams comes in. Tavares, freshman out of Fox Lake, 6'7", 188. He put on 20 pounds after he arrived on campus, and the strength team says he should gain 20 more. I mean, it's a huge guy, physical force. If he can add a little more weight, maybe a little more touch on the shot, he can become an absolute stud as an upperclassman.
And you see that. A lot of freshmen come on campus, they gain weight because of the fact they're not used to the college strength program and eating.
What's the strength program look like for a typical athlete here? I know you, for those of you at home who don't know, Carter's on the baseball team here, so what does that look like when you talk about strength?
It varies from each team, but Coach Howard and Coach Justin in the weight room, they know what they're doing. I mean, I put on 20 pounds myself coming into the fall.
Really?
So, yeah. It was a good 20. It's not the bad 20, but again, it's a new adjustment, and you can see some of the payoffs that you've already been seeing. Like Parker, he's gotten bigger and he's gotten stronger, and that's what the goal is as a freshman. You're come in and just learn what we're all about and really just adjust the program.
20 pounds, how quickly did you put that on?
It took about a month and a half, 2 months, and that was about 4 meals a day, 6 plates each.
6 plates per meal.
It's a lot of chicken breasts.
So that's 24 plates per day that you're eating?
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, was that a conscious goal? Like you worked with the strength team and they said, okay, you're going to put on 20 pounds? Or was it just as a result of going through the program, you happened to put on that muscle? That's
sitting down with your coach and being like, all right, what do I need to do? Well, you need to get stronger. And the only way you're going to get stronger is by lifting weights and eating more. So, you know, our baseball coach is a big guy, and he knows a lot about strength and muscle and eating. So he said you need to eat about 5 to 6 plates a game. So you got to do that.
So what are 6 plates? I'm so curious how you consume a meal in 6 plates.
You got about plate 2 of protein and chicken. You got a couple sides.
You got like 2 whole chickens on there?
No, just a couple, maybe like 5 chicken breasts. You got
little family of chickens?
Yeah, you got a lot of pizza, water, and you might treat yourself with a little ice cream at the end. But again, it's just find whatever you can and just put it on your plate. That's healthy.
All right, well, remind me before the next game to hide my dinner from you. I don't want you to add a 7th plate at my expense.
I've slowed down a little bit.
Here's Zio Golding at the free throw line with the Cougars up by 5, 8.5 to go. The first half belonged to Rockford, just barely. They were up by 2, 48-46 behind some sharp shooting. 10 of 15 from behind the arc. But Rockford 0 for 7 from three-point land in the second half. What's been the defensive adjustment?
It's been closing out on the shooter faster on the start of possessions. Coach Kohler has made the adjustment where he's not so concerned about the middle of the paint as he was in the first half because he realized they weren't beating him there. They were beating him on the outside and 3-ball land.
Here's a chance for Rockford. Stay Jenga. Stops. On a dime, he misses. And Williams gets the board. Under 8 to go. 2-possession lead. Golding, coast to coast. And Zio's on fire. 19 points.
You see him just use his long arms there to reach around defenders and give a nice little roll in on the side.
He's made 5 of his last 6 shots as Shed misses. That's 8 straight misses from 3 for the Rockford Regents. Rudell, nice little move, but he can't finish it. And Rockford will get the ball. You sense an opportunity here for the Cougars to really put the pedal to the metal.
I think they've also found the idea that they are able to attack the paint a lot more. Not so scared of that little fire that the Rockford came out with at the start.
The whistle blew. And the foul went against Rockford. Cavante Shaw's second. Brandon Emmerich, 12 points, all of them in the first half. He's been,
you know, in March, it's not enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't think Punxsutawney Phil has made a trip to Chicago recently, because I think if so, he would say, you know what, screw the shadow. Chicago, no spring for you.
Yeah. It's been definitely a lot of different weather, but, you know, I kind of like the snow. Not the ones that we had a couple past years where it's just downpour blizzard. But
I loved snow until I got a car, and then I realized every time it snows, I've got to deal with that. 9-point lead for the Cougars. 7 to go. Shaw with the left hand. He's off. But the Regents have a second chance. Ball in Emmerich's hand. He's their playmaker. He dishes, and the pass intercepted by Williams. The Cougars will slow it down. And right now it's Jackson Gaddy bringing it up the court.
Mentioned on the defensive side, I mentioned earlier how they were starting to worry about the other guy instead of the person they were guarding. Cougars have been doing a lot better job of contesting the man in front. Oh, and a great look there from Amos to Golding on the backdoor cut. Probably a couple more inches there, he might have had a dunk.
9-0 run for Concordia. It'll continue.
You see now the tempo that Concordia is playing with. It's a composed, calm tempo, but they're able to speed it up when they want to.
Golding's got 21. He leads all scorers. 3 off. Rudell gets the board, and the Cougars will reset. That's 9 offensive boards tonight. Gaddy a spin move. Out to Isaac. He lines it up and buries it.
That energy you mentioned earlier on the Rockford bench and how excited they were in the loudest part of Geisman.
Cougars outscoring Rockford 27-11. Zio Golding's been a major reason why. He's got 21 points, 12 of which have been here in the second half. And Cougars might be a couple stops away from making this a blowout early. Shaw going to work. Stops. And he's stuffed by Hatton. Scrum for the ball. It's staying here. Shed comes in. Rockford's pressing. The Regents haven't scored in 4 minutes. Eugene with the ball. Long three. Yes, sir.
The second time we've seen him hit a three from that deep. Unbelievable shot there from Emmerich.
What a way to put an end to that run as Amos throws it out of bounds. Well, what do you do when you're on the wrong end of a 12-0 run, your team's made just one of its last 18 shots? Well, you chuck it up from 38 feet and drain it like a boss. That's what Brandon Emmerich did. He's got 15, just 3 in the second half. And now some momentum for the Regents. That was Jamar Rivera.
Cougars don't have to panic here. They still got a good lead. And on top of that, they're still shooting fine. It's just a little bit of a hiccup right here. So just stick true to your offense because it's been working for the good part of this half.
Basketball is a game of runs. A little mini run for Rockford here. They've got some juice. Concordia still got the ball. Isaac Rudell comes in. Who's out? Dwayne Burns. Hope you're having a great Wednesday night, folks. Be safe if you're out on the road later. Snowy, snowy night here in Chicago. And a good one here in Geisman as an off-the-ball foul's called on the Cougars. An elbow. Hatton. And suddenly, this one's got a different look to it. Just a 9-point game, back to single digits. Rockford with the ball, and a big opportunity. Shed bullying his way to the hoop. And the Regents on a 7-0 run. They've cut the lead to 7.
They've kept their foot in the door. They've been opening it for the rest of this run. That 7-0 run's been huge, and it all started with that huge Emmerich three from way downtown.
Momentum's with the Regents. Let's see how the Cougars respond. Another offensive board. But Golding quickly stepped out. And now Rockford a chance to keep a stranglehold on these last couple minutes. Regardless of how this one ends for the Regents, you got to give them credit. Their backs were against the wall, and they've turned it into a ball game with under 4.
And it's really been a credit to Emmerich and the intensity he's brought to, on top of Rivera. 14 points for Rivera, 15 for Emmerich. Emmerich, an astonishing 5 or 9 from behind the arc, and 2 of those you could probably give another point to if this was the Harlem Globetrotters for how far that was.
The 4-point line in effect?
Yeah, the 4-point line.
After a Rudell foul, it's Shed to the line. Jeremy Riegel, the head coach for Rockford, he calls Emmerich not only his best player, but his most positive player. He said he's always in practice, getting everyone up, clapping, smiling, encouraging the folks. And we've seen a little bit of that leadership here on the court from the bench. He's a captain alongside Jamar Rivera. And now Shed makes it an 8-0 Rockford run, just a 5-point game. It's been a roller coaster of a contest.
It has been, but one thing that's been consistent throughout this contest has been the free throw shooting. Rockford 10 of 10 from behind the arc, right from behind the line, and Concordia 16 of 27. That's something that's not. If you look back at the spot sheet, the 11 points you have right now, that's a difference maker in this game.
That's free points. 5-point game. Crunch time. Cougars need a win tonight to stay in postseason contention. Starting to feel the heat. Rudell. Hatton. The freshman gives it up. Now to Amos. Just 5 to shoot. Long three. Too short. Rebound tipped to Eugene. Rockford ball. And Shed keeps it. Lines it up and misses. Messy possession there for Shed, who tried to do a little too much. And now O'Donnell smartly calls time. 3 Rockford run, and Carter Gledhill, the Regents have momentum.
They do, and it's because they've been starting to attack a lot more and they've been able to get away from the Cougars' pressure that was so good for the first part of this game.
O'Donnell misses. Golding cleans it up. 23 for Zio.
And you see there, one guy comes and the other guy crashes on the board. Great job by Golding there, finding help on no box out from the Regents.
Shed in the corner. Big possession, and he delivers. Nathaniel Shed with 10 points. O'Donnell barking out the signals. Emmerich applying defense. Cougars content to take their time nursing this 5-point lead. As Golding has the ball. Amos. Zio hits the three. A big one for Zio Golding.
How about a night for him, just when everything has been looking in the Rockford way, coming up big time right there with a huge shot.
Golding has 26. His season high is 27 as Emmerich drains one from way downtown. Basket's good, no foul call. And Emmerich kind of wanted a foul call there, but
we got the opposite with the flopping warning. We've seen it called a lot more. Trying to sell the contact, but referee's not buying it.
Another one for Rockford would mean a technical foul and one free throw for Concordia. That's a new rule this year in the NCAA, is the flopping rule. Emmerich tried to sell it. Nonetheless, he buried a big three to make it a 5-point game. And now here's Amos. Rashawn to Zio, the hot hand, stops, turns, layup, good, and Zio's got a season-high 28. The response, good for Cavante Shaw, who immediately turns and calls timeout. What a battle we got on our hands.
It's a battle to the end, both teams fighting for Rockford. All of a sudden, you got Emmerich coming up with another just huge shot and really just propelled this game to where it's at right now.
The starting five on the court for the Cougars, and it's the senior captain, Neil O'Donnell, with the ball. Under a minute to go. Here we go. Rudell's fouled by Shed. That's costly. Cougars in the double bonus, so 2 free throws for Isaac Rudell.
It's big for the Cougars, too, because Rudell is one of the better free throw shooters on the team, shooting about 78% from the charity stripe.
Isaac from St. Joseph, Michigan. The conference's 3-point leader. Let's see if he can do it from the free throw line. First one, no good. That's the 12th miss from the charity stripe. Cougars are 16 for 28. While meanwhile, Rockford is a perfect 11 for 11. A lot of points left on that line. An offense-defense sub here as Hatton comes out and Dwayne Burns Jr. comes in. Burns Jr., high school's all-time steals leader, loves to poke it away as Rudell makes it a 5-point game. Let's see what the Regents have up their sleeve. It's Shaw burying a 3 from the corner. We got a 2-point ball game.
And you see how fast Rockford was able to do that. Get up the court. It took not that long, few seconds, and big points there for Rockford.
Shaw with a couple big threes. 12 seconds separate the shot and game clock, and O'Donnell's going to milk every bit of it. Time to go. O'Donnell lost it. Bodies everywhere as Eugene loses the ball. Zio Golding with a big steal. And with 9 seconds left, Amos is fouled. He's got to bury some free throws now.
That was an insane craze of events right there. We saw Shaw and we also saw Sheed go down on the side over there. But then, again, Cougars applying the huge pressure on the defensive side. And wow, what a big moment again for Sean Amos, who has the chance to solidify this win for the Cougars.
Well, free throws have been a kryptonite tonight. 12 misses from the line for Concordia. A team that was just 2 of 7 from the free throw line their last time out. And it's only fitting now that just a couple free throws stand between them and a victory. First one good. One more will make it a 2-possession game. Amos has 20. His 18th straight game in double figures. 4-point ball game. Last gasp for Rockford. In the corner, Eugene makes it. Wow! That's 3 threes on 3 straight possessions for the Regents. These guys have a ton of fight, and we got to swipe it. Rudell gets it to Amos, immediately fouled. And again, it'll be Rashawn to the stripe with a tick under 4.
Well, you see there, what a great play design there by Coach Kohler. You have 2 guys attacking from the sides of the court, going down, and then for Amos to be so smart like he is, to cut back up, that's what gave him the great release there and put him at the free throw line again.
No matter what, it's a 1-possession game. And now Rockford will have a chance to win it on their final possession. Amos was way short. Burns Jr. coming in the game. O'Donnell out. Offense-defense sub as Trinidad comes in for Rivera. So some more shooting on the court for Rockford, as a 3 could potentially win the game for the Regents in an epic comeback. But first things first, free throw number 2. It's good. 2-point game. Timeout Concordia. Coach Kohler's going to draw up the defense. We go, folks. Eugene's going to inbound. Emmerich. Coast to coast layup is good, and we are headed for overtime. An uncontested layup for Brandon Emmerich.